amazing op-ed piece that she has had a preventive double mastectomy. I just want you all to chime in on how you took that news when you found out.
Well, I found out pretty early as I was getting the kids ready for school, and I kind of heard it on the TV. And I said, well, we don't share the gene for legs. We don't share the genes for getting skinny right after you have many pregnancies, but we do share one gene, and it's this one.
Making a decision to have the double mastectomy, it was a no-brainer. It was the easiest decision. For me, what type of reconstruction I was going to have was a much harder decision.
Yeah.
I feel shallow because it was a hard decision for me.
Well, I think you were at a different time a little bit.
A little bit. I was 27, and the word mastectomy wasn't in culture.
By nature, as journalists, we tend to be control freaks. We like to control everything and know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, plan it, all of that. And so that's been a big struggle for me, is losing control. The only thing that I can control is I decided to have a double mastectomy. And so that, to me, was complicated. How did you all feel about that lack of control?
Well, I felt that I did have control, and like Angelina Jolie, I could take care of this now instead of sitting around and waiting for cancer, which is how I felt. I felt like a ticking time bomb, and I didn't want to sit around and wait for cancer. So now I'm a previvor, and I don't have to wait around to be a survivor.
Oh, interesting.
It's so hard, but I made it. I survived. My mother didn't have that choice.
No.
And it was such a crazy cancer, and it was such a strong cancer. It was going to kill her. And we never knew that she was going to die, because she was so strong that she never got sick in front of us. So when she did pass away, we were like, what? What do you mean our mother's not here? So that wasn't happening to my kids. My kids were always going to have a mother here. Always.
I want to deal with this BRCA gene. This test is really expensive.
It's
$3,000.
We were talking about, I thought it was even more when we took it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But our insurance covered it.
It did. Why? Because you had a strong history of it?
Yes, I think because our doctor, we were in a special surveillance program at Sloan Kettering.
I found out through 23andMe, which is an at-home genetic test, and I wasn't testing for the BRCA gene. Even though my sister had breast cancer, she was negative. So by the time the results came back, I had already forgotten about it, and I was just shocked that my sister had breast cancer, but I had the gene.
Wow. So to me, the decision was not simple. I mean, it was in the sense that when I got diagnosed by my first team of doctors, they were talking mastectomy. I walked out of there like, cut them out. Can we do it tomorrow? Then I got my second opinion, and I started thinking a little bit differently. I thought about my kid way, and I thought about the fear of not being there in the future.
That's
powerful,
That
right?
touched me with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. That's
kids.
Right. It's like, from that standpoint, it is a no-brainer.
See, but this is what makes me so sad, is that women have to think we're vain. Like, so many women say to me, I feel so vain, I lost my hair. I'm like, you're not vain. That is a horrible thing to lose your hair.
Yeah, that to me was, I was embarrassed by how difficult that decision was.
It's a terrible decision to have to make. It's terrible.
And so it makes you start thinking about your sexuality, which I've thought more about than I ever have before in my life.
Yeah.
And how this will affect that.
Well, you'll get through all of the drains and all of the yuckiness and the surgery, and then that'll be part of your past, and you won't think about that again. I've moved on, and you don't look back.
But you're different now.
With clothes on, with a bathing suit on, nobody knows.
Yeah.
What helped me was I still buy really pretty bras. I could buy bras that I couldn't buy before.
Victoria's Secret.
I go to Victoria's Secret, buy the prettiest bras, and I feel really pretty in them.
You're no less feminine before or after. I think femininity comes from within.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's up here. It is normal to be overwhelmed by the mortality of it, and what you did makes me think that you know how to take care of yourself, and you've already probably saved a life as a result of your experience.
What great, powerful, supportive women. I absolutely